Today, we become legends.
Alright boys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I'm trying something new today. I'm going to be doing an SPL commentary match because the Oni Warriors just made history in Smite. They have the longest win streak in SPL ever in terms of sets. They are 13-0 since their inception. They've undefeated since their inception, 13 sets in a row. And also, they've done an entire SPL phase completely undefeated. So that's two different records that the Oni Warriors set in this game that I'm about to commentate, which is just completely insane. I don't know who had the record before of 12 undefeated sets, possibly Epsilon from back in the day. Could be a more recent team as well. So if you know that, definitely leave it in the comments down below. I'll pin your comment if you know about that. But yeah, just going to do commentary on an SPL game, see how it goes. Don't know if you guys ever hungering for this kind of stuff, but I thought it was a really interesting game, and of course it's a record-breaking game, so I just thought I'd cover it on my channel. We're in the draft phase here. Let me hide my webcam real quick so you can see everything. So what went down in this picks and ban phase is that the Jade Dragons essentially just drafted a standard comp, basically. You know, a lot of burst damage on there, one of every role, one of every class in every role, basically. And the Oni Warriors have gone for like a much more aggressive kind of squishy heavy comp. Obviously the Afro will be tanky and she'll make her squishies a bit more tanky. But, you know, the Thor is going to go a little bit more bruiser-ish from solo, and so they are a little bit more of a squishy, kind of aggressive in the early game comp. They've got the E-couple, Afro Susano going on, Hachiman, amazing hunter right now. Jade Dragons first picked Hebo and left Afro open, which in my opinion, huge mistake. Afro is just going to shut down everything that Hebo wants to do. They did, of course, lock in the Fenrir straight afterwards, because you don't want to give the Fenrir away to Panatom. He's got a very good Fenrir and an insane matchup into the Hebo. You would just, if they had Afro Fenrir, it's over for the Hebo. But even just into the Afro, Susano also has a good matchup into Hebo. It's just very hard to get anything done as Hebo when Afro's just linked to whatever carry you're going to try and one-shot. Hebo doesn't really do much. They also went with the King Arthur, which, you know, not seen play for a while for good reason. I'm not really sure where that King Arthur pick's coming out. Maybe it was like a Hail Mary, because, you know, Oni Warriors are completely undefeated. Jade Dragons probably didn't come into this set expecting to win, and so they're pulling out a little bit of a Hail Mary here in the solo lane to try and shut down Sot, because Sot has just been dominating lately. First game, he went an insane scoreline on Guan Yu, got like, I think 9-0 he went. Got like 3 triple kills, or 2 triple kills and a double kill or something like that. But yeah, pretty standard draft from the Jade Dragons, and a weird, like, early game centric Oni Warriors draft. It's very Oni Warriors, this draft, though, especially with the Afro Susano and the aggressive solo laner for Sot. So yeah, I was very surprised when I was watching this initially why they left Afro open, because Awesome Jake picked Afro in the first game and just completely obliterated them. It was shutting down everything they could possibly do. And then you first pick Hebo and you leave them to get Afro. That, to me, just, that isn't it, Chief. You either ban Afro, or you first pick it. I don't think there's any reason to give this Afro to Awesome Jake when he's been doing so much work on it. But yeah, let's get into the match here, so. And so yeah, we're starting off pretty interesting here. Minions just spawned. PBM is just chilling over on this like enemy side here, harassing Netriod, and he essentially just steals over the green buff, because Netriod was trying to pull that over to the purple buff to do all 3 at once. And yeah, the Emoja just steals away the green. I'm not sure if he gets it or not, because he's not really pulling it far enough away, but they do have the Fenrir and the Ishtar rotations coming in. It looks like they didn't get it. Fenrir in for a potential first blood here, though. The curse comes out. Yeah, that's absolutely a first blood. Yeah, so the Jade Dragons, they pick up first blood with that interesting invade play. You know, Jake probably should have just left that green on the ground. You know, you stop the enemy team getting it, it's very risky to run in and try and get it there. Because Jade Dragons did like a kind of weird start here. I think they pulled... Yeah, they pulled speed and purple to backs and then did those and completely ignored their green, and support went for like a green buff invade. That's something I've not seen before. So, very interesting start from the Jade Dragons. Trying to pull out like some kind of, you know, strategy to break the Oni Warriors, because as of yet, no one's managed to break them. They've lost a couple of games, I think, but no sets. They've just been completely dominant in this first phase of SPL.
Pretty much the opposite will happen last game. Hang on, sitting in mid lane, and Lasper's just hiding. Looks like the blink.
Dada's going in for a blink early. The blink very risky on the Hebo, I feel like. You know, no beads in the early game on Hebo. It could potentially result in some crazy fights. Good poke on Tapani Tom, though. Definitely not going to get the kill there, though. Dada's low on mana as well.
It seems like the Dragons recognized, they said, okay.
Yeah, PBM's still level 1 at the moment from that weird invade strat, because obviously he got that green, or well, he didn't get the green. So he didn't get any XP from that, and he didn't get any starting XP as well, so PBM's still sitting at level 1. This first blood might be returned here. Yeah, nice auto attacks from Netrioid there, on point with the autos. And yeah, they returned the kill there, to be expected. You know, they risked a lot with that early invade the Jade Dragons. Being level 1 at, you know, almost 2 minutes into the game because you didn't get any starting XP, very risky strategy. Even if they got the green there, it was probably still quite risky, and PBM would have to play very safe for a little while after that until he gets at least level 2. Usual solo lane things happening over there. Panatom's roaming though. Panatom might be going for a solo gank here. Yeah, nah, nothing happening over in solo. Gold buff gonna go down to the Oni Warriors. Nika fighting into this 1v2. That's some King Arthur energy right there, dude. Yeah, not too much going to be going down over there. In the early game, solo lane is quite tanky against those physicals, especially when it started tier 1 round shield. Gives you some extra physical defense. I'll be interested to see how this Arthur works out though, because not a pick we see very often in the current meta. You know, it's all about healer solo laner. So to be honest, the Thor from Sot is also a little bit off meta. Thor obviously a very good solo, but Lasbro's going to steal away the blue, and looks like he's going to get away with it. Hammer should be down on Sot for a good while. He beads, and then it's back up, yeah. And he gets Lasbro, dude. That's a classic Sot play right there. The 1v2, just confident in his damage output. And I think he's out. Nika no mana. Panatom, yeah, Panatom cleans it up as well. Never doubt the mechanics on the Susano for Panatom. Excellent on those air cancels. And yeah, they steal the blue, but oh wow, okay, yeah, Pagon diving tower way too aggressively. The Warriors, they're so good at this point, they're undefeated. They just troll sometimes, dude. They don't completely troll, but they make some plays that like you kind of really shouldn't make, and they still get away with it because they're simply better, man. They're simply better. They're just, mechanically, they're some of, if not the best players in the league, and then as a team, they just have so much synergy. They just work together so well. It's going to be a marvel to watch this phase of SPL. Obviously, we haven't seen the Warriors play any of the teams from the Order Division. They've just been stomping the Chaos Division, and so Order Division's much more competitive. There's 2 teams on top. I can't remember which 2 teams it is, actually. Is it Leviathans and Gladiators? No, it's not Gladiators, right? I think it's Leviathans and Ravens, maybe. The top 2 teams from Order Division are very competitive right now. It's a much more competitive division. And so it'll be interesting at Masters to see the Oni Warriors compete against some of these top Order Division teams and see if it was just, you know, a division diff, or if Oni Warriors truly are just outright the best team in the league by far. Because undefeated is nothing to scoff at, even if you try and factor in the fact that maybe the Chaos Division is weaker. Which it might not be, you know. Oni Warriors might just come into Masters and absolutely dominate everyone from Order Division as well. Gank coming through onto Sot. Yeah, no beads. The Fenrir are all going to come through. That's going to be a free kill, dude. Yeah, this Fenrir, the early game control it brings, especially for a good solo ganks, because Sot actually did go beads into this matchup, which is almost certainly because of that Fenrir. But the beads were down, probably called out by Nika there, so we see a free kill there. Dada's just going for some poke. Going to have a bit of pressure against the Baba Yaga early. Baba Yaga a little bit more of a late game god. Going to push in with those mitigations, clean up some free damage. Panatom, this is going to be a kill. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, dude. I think Dades was dead to Pagon there. I don't even think Panatom was needed. I think Pagon wins that 1v1 after the Crushing Wave. That shield from the ult just eats most of the Crushing Wave immediately. So the Crushing Wave ends up dealing about 100 damage because the shield from Baba Yaga ult's so strong. But yeah, Panatom's there to secure the kill. Jake spending a lot of time in duo. Supports in general spending a lot of time in duo in this game so far. Just making sure Netrioid can get that lead. Netrioid proved himself as one of the better carries in the league, absolutely, if not the best. And you give him that lead, he will snowball with it. And so that Afro's just going to sit there and protect him, pocket his carry. And then probably late game, Afro's going to more so look towards linking with Panatom, get that E-couple going, and just stomp through team fights. But yeah, spending a lot of time in duo so far to try and get Netrioid that lead. Yeah, pretty standard builds coming out so far. Devo's obviously the ADC meta right now. Generally the best thing you can go out of like Devo's, Assi, and Bloodforge. The 15 pen super strong. Tons of lifesteal once you can get it stacked up. A little bit slower than Bloodforge, but much worth the payoff, I would say. Glad Shield Rush from Nika makes sense. Transcendence Rush from Sot is you know, he doesn't like to go tanky. He likes to like slot a little bit of damage in there in the early game so I can make some plays. Volt in trouble. Again, this Afro, she's just sitting in duo lane this whole game, dude. And that's going to be another kill onto Volt. Netrioi going to be getting some big farm leads here. Even though the Afro's leeching a little bit, they're just forcing out Volt. But yeah, and they're going to grab a kill in mid as well onto PBM. This is the Warriors, man. They're so good at just taking these fights. That I don't know who does the shot calling. I don't know if it's all of them, if it's Panatom, if it's Jake. But obviously it wasn't Jake in that mid fight, so maybe it's a bit of a combination of Panatom and Jake potentially. Usually it's supports and junglers because they roam the most, they make the shot calls. And this Gold Fury gonna go completely uncontested. That kill onto PBM in mid, plus sending the Ishtar back as well a little bit earlier on, gonna give them room to just clean up that Gold Fury. Solo lane actually going the way of the Dragons right now. This Arthur has a small lead. Volt gonna fall again though. Yeah, just put pressure on the duo lane and get Netrioi to lead, and he will do stuff with it, and that's essentially what the Warriors are going for right now. This Afro still sitting in duo lane at 7 minutes. That's not typically something you'll see. PBM's been rotating a lot more, but not really getting much off of those rotations, to be honest. You know, he just got picked off in mid, has gone back to duo lane now to hold it after Volts for a second time, but yeah, just not really getting too much off of those rotations. Jake just giving Netrioi this free lane win here. And probably getting a lot of farm for himself as well, to be honest. At the Afro sitting at level 8 right now, level up on the Umoja. And of course, Netrioi 2 levels up on Volt right now. Pagon getting a lot of free farm as well. Probably slightly ahead. Level is even, but I imagine he's slightly ahead in gold over Dades because no one's really sitting in mid. Pagon's just getting this free farm because Awesome Jake spent so much time in this left-hand side this game. You know, it's 8 minutes, support's still there. That's not typically something you see. Pagon going to go in with the ultimate. Dades, Crushing Wave is up, so he can use that if he needs to. He'll just die, though. He'll just die. Lasbra, nothing going to happen here. Typhoon just shot. Oh, beautiful ult from PBM, though. This should be a kill. Yeah, very nice play from PBM there. Lasbra's back in. Very nice counter engage from the Dragons there. That was all PBM. That ult was absolutely beautiful. That's one of the perfect places to land a Umoja ult. You make perfect walls. Those walls are also very hard to jump over, notoriously, into red buff and especially green buff. It's kind of hard to jump those walls. Not that it really would have mattered in that situation. No jumps available for Pagon and Panatom, obviously, but very good place if you're a Umoja player to create some walls there and get a true cage. Netrioi, he's just going to push. He's just going to take this lead and run with it, dude. Just going to force Volt out. You don't need the kill. You just force him out. You keep getting that farm. You keep pushing your lead. An ADC with a lead is going to be very scary. He's got a level up right now. He's got full stack Devos to 29 stacks for Volt. Just really not going great. Volt didn't actually back. He's going to be able to stay and grab this farm up. But yeah, he is going to have to back now. There's no way he can find that Netrioi there. Mid relatively even still, even though the Hebo has been getting forced out quite a lot by some ganks. Pagon just leaping over the wall. They're just partying, dude. They're just partying, the Warriors. Yeah, this Afro rotating a bit more now. Now that Netrioi has that lead, you can rely on Netrioi to not do anything too crazy in that lane and just push his lead effectively. And Jake can now start linking to Pagon and ideally Panatom to look for these team fights. Just going to pressure Dades out a little bit here. Panatom looking for a gank on the left-hand side, but not going to find anything. Just really trying to bully for even more. You just put him so far behind. The Hachi's probably close to level 11 now. This is going to be really rough for Volt to actually come back into this one. The Fenrir comes in for the gank, though. Unfortunately, gets knocked away, and all of the damage eaten by Baba Yaga. That shield is so strong. It's one of the best ultimates in the game. When I made my top 5 ults, top 15 ults, it was on there because it's just that strong, dude. It does so much damage. The big shield, the long duration immunities, it's just... Pyromancer are going to be started up by the Warriors here. Sot just making sure Nika can't really get in there. Never mind, making sure Nika dies. 5 people just jumping on Nika. No one survives that, not even a solo laner with a lead. The double physical defense doing a lot of work there, but the Baba damage will go straight through that, even though it will do a lot of work against the ADC jungle and solo laner of the Warriors, of course. But not enough. It looks like Jade Dragon's trying to group up for this Gold Fury, though. You know, they lose the Pyro, but Panatom is chilling on the right-hand side of the map right now, so potential for a Gold Fury here. Sot goes up. Pagon taking a lot here. Oh, the dunk's off the mark. Will be able to save Pagon though. Lasbro 1 HP. Netrioid cleans it up with the dash. Good stuff. Dade's taking a lot from Netrioid, but Netrioid will fall here. Just a little bit out of position there. The Hebo's going to blink out. And that's going to be it. Just a 1-for-1. Jungler for ADC. Probably worth it for the Jade Dragons there, I would say. Shutting down Netrioid, he was getting very big at this point. And that Fenrir, not quite as big. And also has the Glad Shield, so not too big of a deal if he falls a little bit behind. He has some of that defense to kind of fall back on. He's not just going to be full damage getting out-traded. Dragon's looking for the tier 1, but they're definitely not going to get that. Pagon clears the wave out, and they also had rotations in from the 2 tanks to be able to completely shut that down. Dragon's going to pick up the chests. Very important to make sure you always get those chests on cooldown when you're down a little bit of gold. Jade Dragon's down about 3,000 right now, so those chests will be worth a good amount for them. And they're just looking to stem the bleeding at this point. Gold Fury's available, so you want to keep that warded. Fire. You wouldn't think Fire would be available right now, but the Oni Warriors, they make some crazy objective plays, and Fire Giant among those. You got to be a little bit careful. Jade Dragons, like, they're grouping off this Gold Fury by the looks of it on the left-hand side here. You got to be careful, because if you go for that Gold Fury and you don't see, like, 3 members of the Oni Warriors showing up, they could just be on fire. That's really an Oni Warriors play to just do something like that, so you got to get wards, you got to keep track of where they're at. Maybe don't look for the Gold Fury unless you have Omega wards and someone available, or maybe 2 people available to defend the Fire Giant. On like some kind of counter initiation here. Panatom. Yeah, the awesome Jake Panatom have really come together now. Just going to be linked to that Susano most of the rest of the game, I would imagine. That's going to be Afro's main link. She will obviously link to other backliners if needed, but that's going to be her main, like, I'm going to just sit here and default be linked to Susano, and she'll change if necessary. Dade's crushing wave forced. Panatom looking to go into the backline, but won't find anything. The walls will keep the Hebo safe for now. Pagon in the middle of a billion people, somehow living. That's the Afro, dude. Baba also gets immunity, not immunity, but mitigations in her 3, and obviously the ult keeps her a bit safe, but that was just the Afro, dude. Giving procs, giving immunity. Anvil of Dawn going to take one down. Netrioid falling low here, but I can't imagine Nika has the damage to chase that with Jake linked to him. PBM's going to fall. Yeah, no way Nika can do that. I can't believe the Dragons let this Afro through, dude. That's actually crazy to me. It did so much work in the first game. Jake is known for this pick, and they let it through. I think that was a huge mistake, and it might cost them the game, dude. This Afro already putting in so much work keeping people alive. Like that, he kept Hachi alive in that fight, and he kept the Baba alive long enough for the Warriors to just get everything in that fight because they were committing so much to trying to kill that Baba. And they're going to get the Primal Fury here. Bonus damage to objectives, potential for a Fire Giant burn here, or just on the next Gold Fury or Pyromancer spawn, potential to just burn those objectives really quickly.
I'll be fine.
Just going to take care of this duo lane. Jake's going to back. A lot of gold in hand for the Warriors right now. About 2,000, 1,800, 1,200, 1,100. They can absolutely finish up some items here. That's going to be a Magi's Cloak available for the Afro now. So going to be even harder to take down that Afro in team fights. And going to be going into what looks like a Breastplate of Regrowth, which makes complete sense for Afro. Get that mobility. If you can't kill the Afro, you can't kill her tethered target either. Dades gets his ult forced again. Dades just really not getting a chance to use that crushing wave aggressively, but Sot trolling a little bit in on 3 people there. Will fall to Dades, which is going to be pretty huge. No real shutdown gold there, but a kill is still going to be very nice to get that Hebo a little bit more farm. Hebo does very well with items and farm, just able to burst people. Volt going to fall again to Panatom. But the Dragons will get a Pyromancer in response. The Susano not available, and the Hachiman still in duo lane, so Dades able to secure that. PBM just trying to keep these minions out here, but the Warriors are running it down on this duo side here. This tower's going to fall. I don't think PBM can get there in time. Susano, there's a bomb as well. Yeah, no chance. Absolutely no chance. The TP won't even come. The bomb wasn't even needed there. The Susano will have great objective damage, and of course Netrioid, the main objective shredder on the team. One bomb available on the side of the Jade Dragons from that, the Drake Dragons? the Jade Dragons. One bomb available for them for a potential like Fire Giant push, or just sneak out a tier 1 or something, try and get a little bit of gold, because really the bleeding has not been stemmed. They're almost down 6k now. 6k is where the lead starts to get very insurmountable in these team fights, even with a skill diff. And of course, the skill diff is on the side of the Oni Warriors right now. They're simply the best team in the league.
what to expect. I think those words are foreign to the Warriors.
Susano and Hachi starting up the Fire Giant. See, this is what I mean, dude. They've got two people pushing mid. They've got Sot zoning away the Arthur. They see the Ishtar in left. This Fire Giant calls genius. This is the kind of stuff that the Oni Warriors... Other teams just don't do this. Like, this is such a smart call. They've got 3 people ready on zoning. They see the Ishtar in left. There's nothing you can do about this Fire Giant as the Jade Dragons. The Ishtar is too far away, and you've got, you know, Solo Troll just absolutely zoning like a god. Nothing you can do, and the Fire Giant just goes down, and they're going to be able to get a big amount of gold probably from this. You know, push down some of those remaining tier 2s, get the Oni Fury when that's spawning relatively soon. Just going to be able to push that lead again. Volt going to get some farm in the left-hand side, but losing the Fire Giant, it's not looking great for the Jade Dragons here. The Dragons are having a very rough time in the league as well. Winning a lot of their early games, not against the Warriors because it's the Warriors, but against other teams in the league, winning a lot of their early games and struggling to actually win on this siege. So maybe the Oni Warriors here can show them how to siege, show them how to get it done. The Afro Sustain going to be very useful. Netrioi gets caught out big time here. Hachiman, no jump available on Hachiman. His ultimate and his dash both can't go through those Umoja walls, but the damage simply isn't there. Jake is getting pretty low here though, but of course Afro Sustain is going to keep him relatively topped up along with that Fire Giant regeneration. Panatom doing a classic jungler on a siege move, just kind of chilling in those like middle bits between the Phoenixes, looking for an entry into the fight, potentially to split push mid or something like that. Just looking for his way in. Netrioi poking with those enhanced Hachiman basics on this new patch. It's the reason Hachiman's being picked up so much now. One of the top ADCs, it was already first picked by the Oni Warriors, so they clearly value it very heavily for Netrioi here.
Their item builds are looking relatively easy.
Dominance online for both ADCs now, so the tank's going to have to be a little bit scared of that immediate percent pen available, with the kin size as well, of course. Crit is now out of the meta. Crit's gone for the most part. You might still see it on maybe a Jingwei or something like that, but Crit is mostly out of the meta and kin size is in. And so the tanks are actually going to get deleted even faster than they were in the Crit meta, because you don't have a spectral armor to deal with that kin size and it's max health damage, so a little bit less threatening to the squishies with this kind of build, but the tanks will fall, dude. The tanks will get absolutely shredded by these ADCs this late in the game, especially once they get like 1 or 2 more items online. Tanks can get absolutely deleted. The thing is, Sot isn't a tank. Sot's just going full damage, and so that kin size, although it is the meta build right now, I almost would have rather preferred to see some crit coming out of Volt, because the spectral armor will only be able to be picked up on the Afro, and while it is a good counter with that aura, there's only one tank on the side of the Jade Dragons, on the side of the Oni Warriors, sorry. Sot doing a bit of a dance on Dardes, absolutely taking him out. And we're going to see an Oni Fury go down for the Oni Warriors as well. Sot not even there. Sot just doing his own thing, taking out Dardes. Beads, I assume we're down. They're available now, but I assume his beads are down. I just got full comboed by that Thor. Not much you can do there. Pyromancer also going to go with way the Oni Warriors. They've leveraged this Fire Giant so well. They've taken Gold Fury, Pyromancer, 2 tier 2 towers. Tons of gold sitting in their pockets right now, and they're looking to push on this left-hand side. Lasbra tries to go in on Pagon, but that Prophetic Cloak with 28 stacks right now, plus the ultimate, so strong. And PBM just going to fall to Panatom and Sot's damage, I would imagine, just out of position here. And the Warriors sieging down this left-hand side. They're in a 3v3 at the moment, but they have Sot and Panatom on the way back in. Panatom low, but they have Awesome Jake for that. Keep him sustained up. Netrioi just going ham with that Afro link. There's nothing you can do about it. And that will be it. That's just a clean wipe from the Oni Warriors. How do you beat them? How do you beat them? This is what half of their games look like. This was more dominant than their typical game, but that is just what it looks like for the Oni Warriors, dude. They're absolutely looking like the best team in the league right now, and I'll be very interested to see at the Masters LAN how they perform against some of the top Order Division teams, because the Chaos Division, they can't hold a candle to them. 13-0 in terms of sets at the initial kickoff tournament. 3 wins, and then 10 straight best-of-3 sets. None of them lost. Lost maybe a game or 2, but the Oni Warriors, look at them. They're elated, dude. They're jubilant. They're just, they're loving it right now. A little bit of trolling from Sot. You know, Sot, one of the premier trolls on that team, just one-shots that Hebo and then starts dancing on his ass. I love it, dude. A lot of personality on this Oni Warriors team as well. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the reason the Jade Dragons fell there is letting this Aphrodite through. Like, you can't let this Aphrodite through against Jake, dude. It's too strong. Like, they just second pick this Afro. They first picked the Hebo for some reason. First pick Hebo is no problem. He's one of the strongest gods in the game, but you don't first pick Hebo when the enemy team could just immediately lock into Aphrodite on a guy like Jake that has so much experience with it and so many wins with it. You just can't do that. The Afro completely shut down what they were able to do. Sot did really well as well. Obviously, the whole team did just play incredibly well. Sot lost the early game a little bit to that King Arthur. That's kind of to be expected with Thor solo, but then he just comes online and starts one-shotting people. But it was really this Afro that was the heart of that game. No pun intended. You can't let that through, especially when you're trying to insta-lock an instant burst mage that wants to blink into the backline and one-shot someone in this Hebo. That Afro is just going to completely shut that down, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. But yeah, Oni Warriors 13-0 undefeated, 2 new records set for the longest amount of SPL sets undefeated, and also an entire phase of SPL, 10 straight sets undefeated. They're looking super strong, dude. I'll be very excited to watch Masters LAN and see how they perform against the Order teams. Let me know if you want to see any more of these like SPL game coverage events, because I could do these on like the Masters, you know, maybe like semi-finals and finals. I could do some commentary on those if you guys are interested in that. But if you already watched the SPL games and you're not bothered for like my input over the top of it, I completely get that. But if you do want to see that, let me know down below. Incredible set from the Oni Warriors, and I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.